Good morning. I was just thinking my hair looks a little bit like I've done nothing, even though I did. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Hope you've got your coffee, your cuppa, your matcha latte, whatever it is that your thing is. Today, before I get started, now they're replacing all the NBN lines in our neighbourhood. So, if it gets a bit glitchy, we'll just see how we go, but that's why. So we'll forge on and we'll see what happens. But today I want to talk about something really important, because who has endless money? I would like to say me. No, we don't, right? So when it comes to spending money on our health, it is tricky. And this is something that we're going to have for the rest of our lives until science finds an answer, a cure, whatever it is. So it's really good to find ways to stop the progression of lipedema and to make life easier with lipedema in a way that's free, as many ways as we can. And so I sat down, I've got my little list here because I love a good list. And I thought, right, what can we do that is free? And there are many. There are actually many. So if you're in a situation where you can't afford compressions, you can't afford, the drainage or the vibration plates and things like that, I sat down and I put my thinking cap on and I went, what can we do instead? Because there's already things that I do that doesn't cost money that has made a huge difference. So let's go down my list, shall we? And I'm probably not going to do them in order that I've written them down because they were just random as I sat here and wrote a list. Okay, first of all, really simple, really basic, and we all go, no, I'm not. It's walking. If you cannot walk, if you your joints and you're at the progression of lipedema that walking is tricky, you can't get out and go for a walk. And remember, this is a mindset thing. You have to get past hating the exercise, because I was you. Get yourself to the shops, lean on a trolley, walk around the shops for as long as you can, then go home. It'll distract you looking at all the things. The trolley will give you stability and support. And you know what? Sometimes just walking around the shops, it's amazing how many steps you can get in, even if you don't need a trolley, but you don't like walking. The shops is a great place. Air conditioning in the summer, heating in the winter, you feel safe, nice flat floors. It's a really good option. Down in Perth, there used to be walking groups in the shopping centres, because you'd show up early to meet a friend for a cuppa or something, and there would be literally a group of 10, 15 people in this walking group. This is anyone in Perth. This is in Burragoon Shopping Centre. And they walked the shopping centre before all the shops opened. So I'm betting there's more than one of them out there. So that would be an interesting thing to check out. But free, okay? Free, safe, beautiful climate, things to look at to distract you from the fact that you're walking. What's not to love about that, right? So that's free. Okay, here's one that you may not think of. Now, when I say free, I'm going to say free, or you're already purchasing it in a different form. Okay, so to me, that's making a swap is free. So if you already buy a cappuccino, a latte, whatever every day, some people do on their way to work. I did many years ago. Swap it for turmeric latte. Turmeric lattes are anti-inflammatory. Getting a hit of turmeric is awesome for our lymphatics. So swap it out. Okay? Free, easy. You actually develop a taste for it. If you think, oh, that's going to be awful, just try one and start. They're actually really nice. So there you go. Simple swap out. Doesn't have to be like a free item. And then that will take us, let me go up to your diet. Anti-inflammatory diet. You're already buying food. Now, I remember once many years ago, a lady said to me she couldn't afford, I was at an expo for thyroid disease, and she said to me, I can't afford to go gluten-free. The products are too expensive. When you remove something from your diet, you're not really especially with something like gluten, bread, pasta, those things, the idea is not to replace it with something. The idea is to not have those things. And instead of having meat and salad on a sandwich, we're not going to meat and salad on a gluten-free sandwich because there's so much crap in those gluten-free items. It's going to meat and salad in a bowl instead of the sandwich. But that's also a mindset thing, all right? And learning to figure out that you can be satiated without having the carbs. Carbs are highly addictive. I discovered I was highly addicted to carbs once I removed them, and then treat day came around and I went down to the good grocer and I'm looking at it, and Ollie, my husband's like, have whatever you like. Hi, Janice. And he said, yeah, just get treats. We haven't had a treat day in a really long time. And I found myself looking at all the carbs, and I just went suddenly, oh my God, I'm addicted to carbs. And because I've never been a big eater, I was like, that really blew my mind. I was looking at the breads, the pastries, I was going, oh, what can I get? The cake, anything that was really, really carby. So carbs are addictive. So it's a journey to get from the ham and salad sandwich to the ham and salad on a plate or in a bowl, right? So that is a journey. But honestly, if you really want to go down that road, the quickest route to losing the carb addiction would be go on a carnivore diet for just a short amount of time. It doesn't need to be like, oh, I'm doing this for life, and then with it comes all the, oh, but is this safe and all that sort of stuff. It is an amazing elimination diet. Start with it, and it's an amazing diet for getting rid of your cravings for sugars, carbs, that kind of thing. So changing what you're eating does not cost you anything more than what you're already spending. You're just choosing different items. That is free. And diet is 80% of what we do. Even bodybuilders that you think it would be all about what they're doing in the gym, they will tell you, and I know this because I used to work in a gym back in the day. We're talking when I was like 19, and I worked with the likes of Mr. Australia at the time, bodybuilding champ. They will tell you diet is 80% of their regime, not the gym. So when you look at it that way, you sort of go, oh, that was I didn't really know much about food back then, didn't care, all the things. That was before my thyroid kicked it in, so I was still a normal weight, still had lipedema, but it was just like, oh, I'm just a pear shape. Oh, a lot of women are like that. Yes, they are. So food is free change because you're just choosing something different. You're not picking the processed items. You're not picking the pre-formed things. You're making things from scratch, which will be cheaper. So better than free because you're swapping it out and buying cheaper items. Although I have to say, this sounds really weird. We don't eat, because we eat mostly carnivore, every now and again we'll have mashed potato, right? This is about the only veggie that Ollie ever used to eat. Anyway, I've discovered in the freezer section, you can buy pre-formed mashed potato, right? It's actually really nice. And so for the times that we have mash a month, it's very unusual, it's odd. I was like, oh, I'm not buying, because potatoes are so ludicrously expensive here. I don't know about where you are. That I just went, for those odd times that we have mash, because it's not a usual thing, I'll just buy that packet. And for the first, it is cheaper than making it from scratch. Like, I don't know why, but that suits me, because if I bought a bag of potatoes, then I'd have leftovers and then all the things, wastage, etc. So I don't bother. I buy the bag of frozen mashed potato. Go figure. As I said, it's not an often thing, so that's okay. So check your prices. So any way that you can go, and I know going anti-inflammatory means going low carb. And if you live off pasta because it's cheap and that sort of thing, then yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a journey to figure out a swap out item. But essentially we're paying for food every week anyway. Let's change what food we're purchasing, right? Because I can guarantee there's a way to have an anti-inflammatory diet on your budget. There will be, all right? So that's anti-inflammatory. Okay. This one's weird. Okay, so compressions. Now, compressions are expensive. Mine have arrived. I haven't opened them yet because I want to do a video opening them and trying them on for you. Now, when I first went to the manual lymphatic drainage lady that told me I had lipedema, she was going to wrap my legs in bandages. And yes, there might be a cost to go to a MLD person to show you how to wrap your legs. But mind you, I haven't looked online. I'm willing to bet there's a video on YouTube here somewhere showing you how to wrap your legs. We have all got unopened bandages in our first aid kits, have we not? So I thought, as I said, I haven't followed this through. These were just things that I thought, oh, what could I do for free there if I couldn't afford a compression? Maybe wrapping our legs with all those bandages we've got in our cupboards, because, yeah, I don't know about you, but we've got so many bandages in our cupboard. That might be an option, right? So that would be a free option. Have to track that down. And you know what? I might even put that on my list of videos, once I've got through all the ones I'm doing now, of checking out whether that's even possible. So I might add that. In fact, I'm writing that down. I might add that to my compression video when I try on those lovely compressions I've ordered that cost $144. They're from the US, so they're $94 US dollars for my US people. But for me, they were 144 or something by the time I had them delivered, and in Aussie dollars. All right. So here's another weird one. I have seen everywhere. I'm going to put the air conditioning on because it's getting hot. I don't know if you've seen or heard of fascia blasting to try and break up the nodules in the knees and the legs and that kind of thing. And they're quite expensive, and also using a massage gun. Now, I was standing in the shower the other day doing my calf raises, another free option. We'll talk about that in a second. And I realized, so free doesn't necessarily mean you haven't purchased something, but it might mean you have something around the house that you already can use. And I bought this for washing my hair, right? And this is very similar looking to the fascia blaster. Maybe it's not as strong, I don't know, but it wasn't expensive, so that's okay too. And so I've started in the shower, the fat pads on the fronts of my legs, doing this for, I don't know, I count to 50 or something like that. So have a look around your house and see what you have that you can use. And like anything, doing this once is not going to do anything. Buying the expensive fascia blaster and doing it once is not going to do anything, right? Buying the expensive vibration plate, massage gun, all of that, and not doing it every day is not going to do anything. So if you've got something like this around the house, or that's in your budget at the supermarket to get a hair washing thing, just make sure it's quite stiff. But it's stiff enough that on my legs, I can feel it. Like the first day I did it, I could only do maybe 20 or 30 sort of circles in that area. And yeah, I had a little bit of bruising. It wasn't terrible, but I didn't go really hard. And I've just continued that. So with anything that we do, it's what you do every day, right? So that free for me because I already had it, right? So speaking of shower, let's move on to calf raises in the shower. If you have not seen that video that I did a week ago, a couple of videos ago, calf raise challenge for lipedema legs, watch it. 12 minutes. Like insane, the difference in my legs after 30 days of doing calf raises in the shower. All right. Free. And I was in the shower. It didn't hurt because the hot water was on my legs. I built my way up to how many I did. I went from 20 calf raises a day to 150 calf raises, not a day. I did that twice a day because I have 2 showers a day, morning and night. We're in a hot environment. That was an increase of 650%. But if you did 1 calf raise and raised it to 8 calf raises in each session, that also is like 700% increase in what you can do. So if you look at not how many you can do, but how much of a percentage you can increase by. And at the end of 30 days, I lost 6.5% increase measurements on my lower legs. And I was not expecting it. I was expecting my measurements to be exactly the same. I measured my knees, my calves, and my ankles at the beginning and then at the end. And it blew my mind. And at the end of that video, you'll see a photo of before and after. And the overhang at the backs of my knees had lifted. It was insane, like free. But again, these are things that we dismiss. And I did it just because I was like, oh, this will be fun, right? Whatever, something to do, bit of content, let's see what happens. Let's dismiss it more than anything, I guess. So it blew my mind more than anything that it actually did something. So I'm still doing them twice a day. I'm not going to increase from 150 on each session because it's just too long in the shower otherwise. But now I've added step-ups. So I'm currently filming a step-up challenge because I'm like, well, if the calf raises made that much difference to the backs of the fat pads on the backs of my legs, what will step-ups do to the thighs and that sort of thing? So you'll hear about that once we finish that challenge. So, but calf raises in the shower, free, changed the shape and the size of my legs. Can't emphasize that enough. Okay. Plus, I feel stronger, my balance is better, and flexibility, right? So balance is a big thing with lipedema. I've fallen over a million times in my lifetime, didn't know why. Okay, so balance for the calf raises is huge, all right? So do consider that if balance is an issue for you. Now, sunshine and grounding, okay, are free. Why do we want sunshine? We want sunshine for vitamin D. It's shown that so many women with lipedema have really low vitamin D, and vitamin D is actually a hormone, not a vitamin. So it would make sense. Hormones drive lipedema if they're out of whack, and if our vitamin D is low, we're out of whack. Hi, Judy from Queensland, Australia. Thanks for tuning in. So vitamin D, getting out in the sunshine, and we don't do it enough. We have busy lifestyle. It's just like too much, right? But we have to. These are things we have to find time for. If we can't afford to do the surgeries or the, pneumatic pumps or the big ticket items, then we have to find time for these free things. And sunshine, while we're out in the sunshine with our feet off, the shoes off and feet in the ground, we are grounding. You don't need to buy a grounding mat or a grounding sheet. You get your feet on the ground. One of the best spots for grounding is if you live near the ocean, walking along the ocean where the foamy stuff hits, where the it's all foamy. And that's the highest amount of electrons we can possibly get in our body. And why do we want that? It's anti-inflammatory. Okay, free. If you live near the ocean, it's free. You walk along there. If you can only manage to get out in your backyard, as long as you've got a bit of bare earth, it does not have to be grass, just bare earth, right? In Japan, they when people are depressed and that sort of thing, they prescribe them a walk in the forest with bare feet. It's like, it does not have to be pretty, lovely grass, okay? Just put your feet on the ground to ground yourself and be in the sunshine at the same time. That will also reset your circadian rhythms, all right? So we all live in these bright lights and things all the time now. And is it any wonder our bodies are so mixed up, okay? Free. So vitamin D and anti-inflammatory is why we want that. Okay, supplements. Okay, we cannot out-supplement a bad diet. Hello. Music grounds you too, apparently. Oh, I didn't know that. Easier at night if cold weather. Oh, yes, walking on the... Yep. Yeah, I didn't know. I'll have to check that out. Okay, Kathleen from Melbourne, Victoria. What you would give to be walking near the ocean backyard. Yes, it would be so nice to be near the ocean right now. Thank you for popping in, Kay. Kathleen. Oh, you've got that's your channel name, radio. Thank you for popping in. It's depends on where you are, right? So I know down in Perth right now it's freezing, and walking along the ocean in winter is not always ideal, but it's probably really good for the inflammation too. So it's kind of like, not sure, right? Right, back to supplements. Now, one of the biggest things that I see all the time is women wanting to buy omega-3s, and they're expensive. You know, are you going to use omega-3s for the rest of your life? And they're really pricey, right? Here's the thing. If you are eating a diet that is high in omega-6s, which is inflammatory, right? The omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. The omega-6s are inflammatory in high amounts. We're meant to have a ratio of 1-to-1 of each of those. We tend to have a ratio of 1-to-20 or 1-to-40. And that was the last time I looked, and I saw something the other day that said 1-to-60. And I'm like, oh, it blows my mind. So if you are eating a diet that is high in seed oils, that's where the omega-6 is coming from. So we're talking sunflower oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, some soy oil, all of those, cottonseed oil, all the oils, except for quality olive oil. That does not count in that category. Then you cannot possibly take enough omega-3s to get that ratio back to 1-to-1. It seems like such a simple, that can't possibly be making the difference, using a bit of oil to cook my steak. It does. That's why every food group people, vegan to carnivore, talk about seed oils. And it's why everyone's talking about processed foods, because every processed food has seed oil in it of some kind. So this is like, if this is the one free thing that you do, is swap out buying the seed oils for just cooking in butter or lard or tallow or the baking grease from any meat that I cook. If there is, I do the old-fashioned thing and I pour it into a jar and keep it in the fridge and cook with that. If I don't have any of that, I cook with butter. If I don't, I don't even cook with good quality olive oil because it's far too expensive. If you're getting Rigidage proper olive oil that's not cut with one of the other seed oils, because many of them are, then you're paying a fortune for it, and you can make it rancid by cooking with it. So you're undoing it. So the idea of olive oil is that if you're going to consume it, you consume it cold over your salad or whatever it is to get the benefits from it. So cooking with it's not ideal. So, and they've said, I saw something recently that there is not enough olive plants on the planet to support the amount of olive oils that are in our supermarkets. So that tells you how many of them, because they don't have to say on the ingredients list, olive oil, canola oil. As long as it has olive oil in it, it can have this much and then this much sunflower oil or vegetable oil. Doesn't matter. They don't have to declare it, which is wrong. But anyway, so even if you think you've got really good olive oil, because of the high temperatures that you're cooking with, I still wouldn't use it. I would still use lard, tallow, bacon grease, butter over any of those. All right, so that's a swap out, because you look around in your house, even your herbs and spices. I've talked about this before. When I first started really getting into how many seed oils are in our processed foods, I was looking at the back. I started getting in the habit of just looking at the back of everything I was using. So all those condiments that you have and those, herbs and spices, that sort of thing. My favorite seasoning, Tuscan herb seasoning, it was like the second ingredient was canola oil. And I was like, oh, really? So, I love that mixture of herbs and spices. So what I got to in the end was getting those things separately and combining them. I don't even know why they need oil in it, because it works just as well without it. So I'm not sure, but that would be my recommendation. If herbs and spices, like mixtures, are an issue, is to make your own mixtures. Look at the ingredients on the back, flick out the canola oil and just put in the other ingredients and make your own mixtures up. Mingle is a brand that I know they're an Australian company, but I think they're worldwide now, that does a nasty free of everything but the bagel seasoning, like everything you can imagine. And it's got no seed oil. So that shows you that, our herbs and spices do not need oils in them to last, because this company has managed to do it. So anywhere in your world that you are doing something every day, good or bad, is going to make a massive difference. So if you putting sauce on your food every day, and you've got ingredients in it like seed oils and a preservative that doesn't agree with you or whatever, that is going to build up. So it sounds, I like to do the simple things, right? And I've learned over the years very much that it's about the things we do every day. It's not the big things. It's not the big trip to the Ayurvedic hospital that I did in 2018. That was amazing. And it was so nice having somebody bring me food 3 times a day and someone massaging me. I didn't even have to wash my own hair for 4 weeks. It was insane. Did it change my health? For that 4 weeks, maybe, and maybe for a few weeks after, but no. At that time, at that point in time, I was probably still having seed oils. The inflammation was still growing, right? So we don't do those sorts of things all the time. We are, even if we can manage a massage that's costly, that might be once a week if we're lucky. What are we doing for the rest of the days? What are we doing for every other moment in our life? So we've got this huge opportunity to change all these other areas in our life, but we kind of seem to be stuck in this loop of, I don't know, that's not going to do anything. It's just one little thing, right? But it does, because you're doing that one little thing over and over and over and over again. We've got to put more focus on those little things. Get off my box. All right. So last thing on my list, deep breathing. Now, why would we deep breathe? We've got a lot of lymphatics in our belly. So if we're deep belly breathing, we're activating those lymphatics. And what do we do when we exercise? We deep breathe. And apparently, deep breathing improves lymphatic flow up to 10 times. So that's kind of insane, but that makes sense because when you're walking, you're deep breathing and you're improving your lymphatic flow that way. So if you cannot walk, or if you can only walk for a short amount of time, well, you can sit on the couch or in your chair and do deep breathing. Again, we just think, it's too hard. I don't know how. Am I doing it? I'm willing to bet there's videos on how to do it online. Again, something I have to look at. I'll circle that to go looking at those videos to see how we do it, because I exercise, so I don't worry about the deep breathing. But what would happen if I did a challenge for deep breathing on top of what I normally do every day for a month? I don't know. Like anything, I don't know till I try. It would be fun to try. So tell me if you want to join me on a challenge. And if so, what kind of challenge do you want to do? Let's do a challenge together. So that's it. That's some of the things that I found. And I reckon there's more. There's got to be more of ways of improving our life with lipedema in a way that's not going to cost us more money. Because not everybody can run out and buy a pneumatic pump or get surgery and that sort of thing. And especially when it comes to those everyday things, we need to start making them a priority if we can, particularly if we can't afford all the other gadgets and the high ticket items. All right. So that's it for me this very, I'm going to say overcast Sunday. And I hope everybody's well. Janice, Kathleen, Judy, thank you for all popping in. How lovely. And we will see you next Sunday for another topic. I never know what it is till the day before and when I'm doing the graphic up, but we will see you then. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I will see you soon. Bye.